I have to take my I can't do this workout without it. And we're back. Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 75. It is the second day of the week, aka the Quadzilla workout. I'm feeling good. Legs are feeling great. I'm feeling excellent. Actually, the most excellent my lower body's felt in a while. So I'm looking forward to this workout. So, as you've probably seen from the title and stuff, and I've been clickbaited into this video to discuss something that it's in the back of my mind every once in a while. I think about it, it comes up in waves. I haven't really thought about it recently. I think this morning it was either between this or a episode about coffee, which will happen eventually. I just didn't want to do it today. Today's episode is about pre-workout and how people are over-reliant on it like crazy, but we'll get to that in a second. But first, pre-workout. I don't take any particular pre-workout. What I do is I make like this creatine shake with another powder, MSM powder, which both work. They're very good. Would recommend, and a little bit of salt, and drew that with whatever I'm eating before the gym. So like, for example, today was a protein bar and some rice cakes. So that is my pre-workout. It doesn't have anything that is actually like any particular compounds that are popularized via other pre-workouts. I used to take 1 scoop of the Gorilla Mode Nitric back in the day when I first was really starting to get into the gym. I ended up stopping for multiple reasons. The first reason was would immediately go to the bathroom right after. It's a joke that you take your pre-workout, you go to the bathroom, or you have to take a dump, or something, whatever. Why? Like, I don't know how else to explain it except for why is that even a thing? But also, if it's a thing, why do people continue to do it? You know what I mean? If it is known that this thing gives you the runs and or you immediately have to shit for reasons X, Y, or Z, why do you still do it? So that was part of the reason why I stopped. Another part was at a certain point I was like, how much of this shit is actually working? Like, how much of this is actually genuinely working in my body to do something? That started the entire downfall of me using pre-workout, because I was like, all right, so I can't do the caffeine one because I can't do too much caffeine or else I'm going to be fucked up for the entire day. So I'm like, all right, I'm not doing the caffeine, so how many of these compounds are actually doing anything? And how much of these that are actually doing something accounting for more than 10% of what I'm doing? So I just looked at it and thought that the juice was not worth the squeeze, and so I ended up just not buying anymore and instead just make my own little drink instead with what is essentially the two best ingredients, which are salt and creatine. MSM powder was added, would recommend it. Also disgusting though. So if you add it, no, it's disgusting. It's worth the benefits in that it helps your joints and stuff. Not worth the taste. It's literally the worst. Almost I think like a year plus of taking it, it has not gotten any better. So just be aware of that. So I ended up stopping the entire pre-workout, and I think what it is that got me recently was that I also saw a meme recently where it was like Thor. It was a meme with Thor from the third movie, I think it was. I think it's the third one, where it's like, he's saying something along the lines of like, I can't work out with my pre-workout, and then his dad is like, oh, pre-workout was just a tool, you should have been able to do your workouts without it. You know what I mean? So I find it funny that people have this weird over-reliance on it, and it's like, all right, I get some of it in that I get the caffeine part of it, but that's a whole other subject because I was gonna lump that in with coffee. But when it comes to pre-workout and stuff, people get too reliant on it, and then all of a sudden it's like one of those things. I understand it in a sense that it's more of a it becomes a ritualistic type of deal where if you don't do it, you feel like something's incomplete. But I feel like that is an over-reliance on something that you technically don't even need per se. I mean, most of the time, if you can't get hyped up for your own workouts, then what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you should be excited to go to the gym on your own. You don't need a substance to really perk you up in theory. You're doing it for the wrong reasons, and or your base fire will be able to be quickly put out. It's as if you're treating yourself to something that you want to do rather than wanting to just do it. You know what I mean? And if you take away the treat, then the want to go just diminishes, so then you stop. It's like the entire idea of, if I don't have my pre-workout, I can't go to the gym. It's like, all right, so you just don't even want to go to the gym, period. You just want the pre-workout. It's not putting the cart before the horse. There's another analogy that I could probably think of somewhere in here. Maybe I'll insert it. But The main reason it bothers me so much is just because of the over reliance people have on it. And I think on the voiceover, I'll probably talk about how much of it is fucking industry. The fitness industry tries to sell that shit down your throat and just keeps it going, and when in reality 90% of it is all the fucking same. So we'll discuss that. We'll get into that on the inside. All right, so start this day off with squats. Thankfully, I don't like doing squats in the rack, honestly. I like the freeness of the open rack, but that's just me personally. I know there are some people that are the complete opposite of that, but that's just me. But anyways, before we start with pre-workouts, I wanted to discuss MSM powder again, because I just want to reiterate that the effects of MSM powder have been amazing. It has made it so my tendons feel way better, and also my knees feel better, without a doubt. The only issue is that it's like creatine. You have to keep taking it every day, and it's one of those continuous type of deals that you have to keep taking it for it to work. That part sucks about it, because it fucking tastes disgusting. It is literally disgusting. Now, with that being said, to go back on the discussion before this, pre-workout, I think that there's such a over-reliance on it nowadays with people that just want a weird boost at the beginning of their workout, and a lot of the time the people that are using them aren't actually going that hard at the gym. I feel like a lot of the time they're just doing either mild work, or if not, there's a lot of sitting around, you know. What is it? Nothing frustrates me more at the gym than seeing a group of kids that are just doing absolutely nothing while one person is doing the exercise, because I mean, you can superset if you just take 2 seconds to do something else while the other person's using the machine, you know what I mean? 2 of you can be working out instead of the 6 of you sitting there watching one dude do his workout, which is also kind of weird because you're all just eyeballing him or talking or whatever, and you could be doing whatever the hell else at the same time. But that's a whole other discussion for a whole other day as well. The other part of it is the caffeine part of it, that this fuels and ends up having the caffeine addiction that people have nowadays for some weird reason. And I don't want to go too into this, but in the pre-workout realm, people will use this as like a jumping off point with the energy drink that they also drink while at the gym, which is insane. Just the amount of caffeine that they're getting from everything, and I don't think they realize how much that's probably gonna fuck them up, but that one is what it is. One of the big things about pre-workout that frustrates me personally is the entire idea that most of the people that sell it online, at least the fitness influencers, are usually in a predatory like state in which they try to lure you in as being your friend, basically, like, oh yeah, you know, this pre-workout sucks, let's analyze it and tell you why it sucks. And realistically, it does. There are people who scam the shit out of their fan bases, or just products in general, particularly with supplements, because they can get away with doing it. The people will just see certain things or have certain aspects of the pre-workout work, quote unquote. The beta alanine, you know, people get the itchiness from that, but people will think that everything's working because they get the itchiness, or they for some reason have to take a dump immediately after, so that means it worked, quote unquote. So they end up truly just being scammed by a horribly dosed or just straight up not even doing anything pre-workouts. And then you have the other side, which are telling you, hey, yeah, these are scams, like these are woefully underdosed. Looking at the science, it's not there for these compounds that are in this, and they get all buddy-buddy with you, thinking that, oh yeah, this person has my best interest in me. When 20 minutes later they say, in our supplement, we have the things that work that these people don't have. And I think there is something scummy about that, where they try to buddy up right next to you and then immediately pull out their product that is way better than the competition, obviously, because it can't be this similar to competition, or even worse, obviously, but that's a terrible selling tactic. But still, the entire point is that they will try to get you to come to their circle and try to friendship you and try to build a trust with you, and then try to sell you something. And I'm not a fan of that personally. There are some major YouTubers who do that. I'm not going to say who, and I think they're relatively obvious in the fitness realm, particularly. I want to say that. I think that there's like a word salad jargon mess that gets thrown at people with the benefits using studies and all these things, when in reality you probably should just be your own scientist with these types of things, if you even need it. You know what I mean? You could probably get away with not needing any of it. And I think that's the main message I want to get across here, is that you don't necessarily need any of this stuff. You really don't. Creatine, I'm gonna give it a pass, and MSM powder, I've personally seen, I'll give it a pass. There are some other things like salt. I mean, that's fine. If you're eating like shit, then you're gonna get salt in your diet. But if you're eating a lot of home foods, you're not gonna get a lot of salt. So just be aware of that. When it comes down to it, you just figure it out on your own and try out these compounds to see what works and what doesn't work, because you really can buy everything on your own and just try it out. Make your own pre-workout for whatever you need, because realistically, you don't need most of this and you shouldn't need most of this. The want and excitement for the gym should come from a more natural / base level of wanting to go versus the liquid encouragement that is pre-workout. It's almost like as if you're trying to hit on someone and you need alcohol in order to talk to them. You've already lost the battle and the war. You've truly shot yourself in the foot before you've even started, because at that point after, if let's say it goes well, you're gonna need alcohol every single time afterwards, and then you're never really gonna know what it's like from the beginning if you don't go there sober as a bird. So be careful with something like that, and I like that analogy because it works out very well. So just be careful with it. It can screw you over, because if you don't establish that base of wanting to go and just that being alone the driver of you going, then you're gonna have a rocky foundation when you have to get rid of something, you know what I mean? So and that thing being pre-workout, it's gonna be a tough time afterwards, having that base of operation of wanting to go. So make sure your foundation's set, then maybe add it as a future thing if you want to, but it's not necessarily necessary. Yeah, dude, I didn't hit a PR because I didn't take my pre. I just completely forgot, dude. Fuck. And we're back. Hello, and welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None. Exercises skipped. And also none. Almost skipped the hip abductors, but got it in because there was somebody using the machine, and then I got in and they weren't on there anymore. I was like, all right, sweet. And overall worked out for me, so I was very happy about that. But anyways, relatively pretty good workout. Feel good. Legs are destroyed, but it is what it is. Let me look out for pedestrians. Overall, great workout. I was very happy about it. I had a good time. Right now, headed home, walk the dog for a little bit, and then do other stuff. Probably more editing. But anyways, to go back a little bit to the main subject at hand, I should have probably prefaced this entire thing by saying this at the beginning, but I'm gonna say it now because, you know, obviously viewer retention makes sense. Fucking idiot. But anyways, the main thing I wanted to say was, if you take pre-workout, there is nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna bash people who do it. That being said, though, you should figure out if any of those things actually make an impact on you and your personal body, because obviously if there isn't that much that is actually doing an impact on you, then you're probably just wasting your money. Honest to God. Here's the dirty secret about a lot of the compounds in a lot of those pre-workouts, is that you can buy them individually. I'm pretty sure My Fitness supplements, or the whatever the brand that's on Amazon, sells like 90% of what are in pre-workouts individually. So you could just buy everything individually and make your own pre-workout, and then just test it out and see what works and what doesn't work, and make your own that is custom to you. Now, obviously this might take a little bit of effort and time to figure it out, but honestly, it could save you so much time, effort, and money in the long run. Plus, not having the shits after drinking a pre-workout might be beneficial. You know what I mean? I don't know, but personally, if I could choose to have the shits or not. I choose the not part, but to each their own. Some people actually do enjoy that for some weird reason. But yeah, I mean, realistically, you can figure that out. It's not too crazy of a challenge to do because you can find all these things relatively cheap online in bulk and then just buy it and see if you can make your own. And because you can make your own, you can make it taste like whatever you want and use whatever sweeteners, whatever you want to use for it. Overall, I would recommend just doing something like that instead of having to go through a specific supplement company or whatever just to get their branding that's marking up and jacking up the price 10 times fold than the actual value of what you're actually paying for. So you got to be careful about that and just take your time and see if it works out. I mean, like I said, I might eventually fuck around with other things that were in pre-workouts that might be useful to me, but also at the same time, I'm at a point where I don't need it. The only benefit I would say that I would miss from any of that is nothing. I have no idea. I might try it, but it all just seems a bunch of, I haven't really necessarily missed it. So because of that, I don't necessarily need it. And the caffeine I just get from coffee, but that's a whole other episode for a whole other day because that's caffeine is its own thing. It is what it is. And with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below about pre-workout and anything related to it. If you're a connoisseur of it or anything like that, or if you know people that are like super into it, who have like multiple tubs from everywhere, any which way, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think, or if you want to say anything else, please leave it in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please repost this video and share it with somebody who might like this type of video. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.